Now for our story. This afternoon, a special board meeting of the Wakefield Trust and Savings Bank was in session. The men were gathered in the room devoted to this purpose at the rear of the bank. At one end, as president, David Bowman presided over the meeting. As he spoke, his eyes roamed from one face to the next. These were men he'd known most of his life. They had sturdy, matter-of-fact faces, strong, courageous, and stubborn. But just now they looked somewhat defiant, as David said.
There's another very urgent matter on the agenda for today, gentlemen. The question regarding Bill Meade's resignation. You all must have read in the Sentinel yesterday about Carla Descares finally giving Sheriff Goodwin the facts of that case. It turns out that her account of what happened amounts to a total exoneration of Bill Meade. Mrs. Descares admits it was her own husband who was to blame. Now that Bill has been proved to be innocent, I'm sure you'll agree there's no necessity for following through with his resignation. Now, concerning the proposed housing project, I'd like to suggest...
Just a minute, David.
Yes, Henry?
In the pause which followed, the men shifted uneasily in their chairs. Henry Swanson, who had interrupted, looked uncertainly toward his colleagues, who seemed to regard him as their spokesman. Finally, he appeared to reach a decision. He gave David a frank look as he said quietly,
David, we know how you feel about young Meade, and we don't blame you for taking the stand you're taking. But we were all talking this thing over last night, and, well, to put it plainly, I am sorry, but we don't agree with you.
Seems to me, Henry, there's no question of agreeing or disagreeing.
Sure. The Scarry girl told the sheriff that Bill wasn't responsible. That only means he wasn't the one who injured her. And it also looks like he didn't have anything to do with Mario disappearing. But that doesn't mean Bill isn't guilty in a moral sense.
Don't talk nonsense, Henry. Bill's as innocent as I am, or you.
Of that particular charge, yeah. But there's a lot more to it. For instance, the cause of the quarrel. You know very well, David, if Mario Descares had a disagreement with his wife, the disagreement was over Bill Meade. There's common knowledge. He'd been paying her too much attention.
That's nothing more than hearsay.
Hearsay? If you mean I wasn't there on the spot to check up. But a lot of responsible people around Wakefield had been up in arms about that situation for quite a while. And I, for one, believe they're right.
Gossip. Slander. I'm surprised at you, Henry, to be taken in as you've been.
I only wish we could both be right, but you know as well as I do, one of us must be wrong. And I've got public opinion on my side.
Henry, some of the worst injustices ever committed were done in the name of public opinion. And I'm very much afraid unless you and the rest of the board reconsider, this will be another to add to that list.
Well, I'm awfully sorry, David, but I feel very strongly on this point, and the men here agree with me.
I see.
Good Lord, David, a man like Mario Descares wouldn't do such a terrible thing like that to his wife and then run off and leave a valuable farm without a very good reason. And we think we know what that reason was. He'd lost faith in his wife, that's why. Because of Bill Meade.
You're making a terrible mistake, all of you.
Oh, I know, David, that's what you think, but remember, the majority of the people in town here, they think otherwise. People, by the way, who do business in this bank. At least they do at present. And that's just the point. They wouldn't continue doing business with us for long if we permitted goings on like this Descares business. Hang it all, David. You know how Wakefield people look at that sort of thing.
Someday you're all going to realize how wrong you've been.
Well, of course, if Mario Descares were to come home and explain the whole thing, then that would make the whole picture look a lot different, I admit. But do you honestly think there's much chance he did?
Whether Mario returns or not doesn't alter the crime you'd be committing, Henry. The crime of blind intolerance.
I hate to say this to you, David. We've known each other for years. And come to think of it, I don't believe we've ever had a real disagreement before. But just the same, I got to be frank with you. You say I am blindly intolerant. Well, David, don't you think you're just plain blind?
No. I know I'm not.
Well,
Then you refuse to reverse your decision?
I do. And the rest of the men feel the same way.
Very well.
Please, David, for heaven's sake, be realistic.
I'll see it attended to, Henry. Now, about the housing project. There's a plan under discussion to establish a new housing project in the tract south of the house.
David Bowman controlled his anger, an impotent anger which he just managed to keep from his voice. He continued with the business at hand, but part of his mind was occupied with thoughts of Bill. The young men had been so happy when Aunt Mary told of Carla's confession. At the time, they'd all believed Bill's troubles were over. Now, not only Bill's, but the happiness of Aunt Mary's niece Peggy would be destroyed. And there was nothing David could do. At that same moment, Bill himself had just entered Carla Descary's room at the Little Wakefield Hospital.
Hello, Carla.
Bill, I've been expecting you. But where's Peggy?
Well, she'll be along soon. She asked me to come on ahead and keep you company.
Oh, well, sit down, won't you? None of the chairs are very comfortable.
Yeah, I know. I'll say, you're looking swell, Carla.
Am I?
Well, honest. I expect you'll be able to go home soon, won't you? Once you're back at that nice, comfortable house of yours, you'll feel like a new woman.
Oh, Bill.
What? Carla?
What? I'm sorry.
Gosh, I'm a fine guy to be calling on convalescents. One look at me and they... Carla, maybe you're too tired to have visitors. I know how it is when you've been ill.
Oh, no. No, it's all right, Bill. I didn't mean to go to pieces. But when you said that about going home...
I know how you feel, Carla. The idea of going back there without Mario. But you mustn't feel that way. Mario will come home, and we'll all get things smoothed out.
Bill, Mario's not coming home. Not ever.
Oh, of course he is. Why, that guy's probably dying to come home right now. Only he's too ashamed. But he won't be able to hold out much longer. You watch.
No, you're wrong. You see, Mario wrote to Angus McKillop. Mr. McKillop, just left here a little while ago.
He wrote to Angus? Well, how come? What did he write about?
That's the awful part. He's giving away the farm.
But that's crazy. You must be mistaken, Carla.
I'm not, though. He's giving everything away. The farm and the house and just everything.
But why would he do a thing like that?
Oh, don't you see, Bill? Mario's still angry with me. He still believes all those lies about you and me. And so he's never coming back at all. He's left me for good.
I don't understand it.
I wouldn't mind about the farm and the house. Without Mario, they don't mean anything to me. Let Angelina take them.
Angelina?
Yes. In this letter to Mr. McKillop, Mario deeded everything we have to his sister.
But this... It doesn't make sense.
It does to me, Bill. It means that Mario still doesn't trust me. Even after everything that's happened, he still doesn't trust me.
Oh, but he'll come to his senses. He's got to.
No, Bill. You don't even believe that yourself. Not anymore. I can tell from your voice.
Oh, but...
Oh, it's no use, Bill. I realize it now. For a while I tried to persuade myself Mario would change, that he'd think it over and see what a mistake he'd made. I told myself then that he'd come back. But now I know he won't. Something's happened to him. All those stories he heard, believing them, it's made him into a different person, I guess.
No, that's not it, Carla. He hasn't changed. He's just all mixed up, that's all.
He hates me, Bill. He must, or he couldn't do what he's doing. I know it in my heart. But even so, I keep thinking if I could talk to him, see him. If only I knew where to find him, Bill. Oh, Bill, if I only knew.
Yes, Bill, and you may be saying that, too, if you could only find Mario, when David Bowman tells you the decision of the bank's board of directors. When you learn that it's impossible for you to find work anywhere in Wakefield. Now your whole future security is threatened. Your marriage impossible. Unless you could find Mario Descary.